it's no ideas original. You know it's no ideas original. You know it's no ideas original. You know it's no ideas original.
To the No Ideas Original podcast featuring Shannon, Mr. Rob, and Ken. We're joined by K1 138. Peace, brother. What's up? Thanks for pulling up on us today.
Thank you, man. Pleasure to be here.
So let me ask you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who or what inspired you to start dancing.
Well, I was born in Port of Spain, Trinidad. Came to America when I was going on 4 years old. Moved to Brooklyn, Brownsville. Stayed in Brooklyn for a little while, and from there went to Jamaica, Queens. So from Jamaica, Queens, that's basically where the 138 comes from, because heads think 138 was 138 in the BX. No, it was 138 in Jamaica, Queens. We're here in the South Side area. So make a whole long story short, when I started breaking, I was 14 years old. So when I started, it was 1980. So there was an individual that I used to go to school with and a crew called Nice and Nasty Crew. Now, at the time, I didn't know what these kids were doing or what they were trying to do. No disrespect to them, but I wasn't impressed. You know, I'm seeing heads over here, getting down on the floor, doing this kind of funny twist moves. I don't know the names of it. I don't even know what type of go-downs it was. I was just looking at it and I wasn't impressed. So there was this one kid who used to go to school with me. And every time I used to look at him, he looked like he was always up to something, like, you know, like sneaky cat. Like, to myself, yo, I know this kid ain't from here. He ain't from. He probably from another borough or something. Come to find out, he was from the BX. So one day we was in the schoolyard, and there was the school bell rung, so everybody come in. So when it rung, you know, you got heads who run in, those who take their time going there. I was one of those take my time going in there. But when I looked to the handball court, there was a big crowd. So I was over there thinking, like, you know, they probably shooting joints. The heads who don't know what that means is like they was fighting with the hands. You know what I'm saying? Heads who know, and the age group will know what I'm talking about. So I hear music playing, and I'm like, wait a minute. They can't be fighting if there's music playing. But you figure then in the 7th grade, we wasn't all that tall. You talking like what? Between 5'2", 5'4", 5'5", height-wise. So I looked there, I see this afro bouncing up and down like this to this song playing. The name of the song then was on Last Night Changed It All, the telephone ring. Yeah, there you go. That's what was going on. So I was like this. I was like, yo, it was that kid. Yo, I'm going to tell you right now, that was the day the torch was lit for me. Because now I see whatever it is these heads were trying to do, he just gave me a reality check. And just so you know, the individual's name is Shaky Shake. A lot of you might probably know him as DJ Shaky Shake, but Shaky Shake was the dude who taught me.
Wow.
And I always said this, though. To this very day, I spoke to Shake. What's today? Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. We stay in touch to this very day. I send him pictures of me when I received the award that my son sent me.
Nice.
And he said, yo, Kate, yo, so happy for you because you never stop. I said, you know what it is, though? The reason I got this is because of you. That's why.
That's dope.
That's crazy, man. And, you know, for B-Boys, it seemed like a brotherhood. So give me your true definition of a B-Boy and tell me what the brotherhood of being a B-Boy is all about.
All right, you know we use the term "word is born."
Yes, sir.
Okay, now heads tend to think that, like, growing up, they thought I was God body because of my character, my nature, the way I present myself. I'm not a clown. So to me, it's like this: if you serious, I'll take you serious. Not saying that everything in life you have to be upset with the world, mad at the world, and always angry. No, in other words, it's like when you wake up in the morning, you wake up for a reason. You pay attention to your surroundings. So to me, as far as when it came to B-boy, as far as understanding it, I know it was a Bronx thing. So heads use terms as a Bronx boy, break boy, beat boy. Those are terms, but then again, you got to remember, as we get older, when we're young, heads tend to exaggerate.
Right.
They always end up with a remix version to stories that, wait a minute, I remember a few years ago, kid, you didn't say that. You said blah, blah, blah. Come on, see, this is where the remix version comes in. So me, as getting older and starting to understand things better, I started to figure out things for myself.
Right.
As far as when it came to moves, go downs, because there's a lot of things that I used to do as far as when it came to moves that I didn't have names for. So all these heads, Doug, I know you can relate to this, who's claiming about, well, I was the first to do this, and I was the first to do that. I never had a name for moves. So if I did something, you'd probably be like, okay, what do you call that? It's just something I do. That's all it is. But as far as you were saying before about the different definition of a B-boy, to me,
right,
is an individual who knows when to get down at the break of a record. Now you see, knows when to. It's like a ninja. A ninja knows when to attack and when to strike you. A break dancer is someone who could dance to anything. I can't stand that word, but I know it's the word that's used a lot because I always say this. So those who use the word breakdancing is individuals like our parents or people who don't do what we do. I don't let anything from the outside try to tell us how to do our thing. You didn't teach us how to get down. You didn't teach us our moves. All they know is that they saw some young individuals getting out on the floor doing something crazy behind music. They gave it a name. So when they give it this name, people run with it. And then people believe it and they see so much of it. And that's what it is. So to me, it's like this. To those who do it, who got scraped up and all of that, don't let nobody tell you how to do your thing. You know, I don't care who it is. Whether they were doing it before, because individuals who was dancing before me, I see them as the blueprints. I'm not into none of this rah-rah about who started what, who did this what, because somewhere along the line, you got to start from somewhere. And I appreciate the fact that, you know, we're still around to witness what's going on. That's why I told Doug, I thank you very much for this, because if it wasn't for him doing this, we wouldn't end up having no awards. And if we did, it'd just been like a memory. Oh yeah, I heard of him.
Right. That's
what type of real appreciation does it really show that? Yeah, you heard of him, but how many do we remember? You see, you got a lot of individuals who pretend to care and act like they care, but they really don't care.
Right. You know, and go ahead, Yachty.
So with him, like you're saying, again, with him, a lot of times, you know, it's good that we have the awards and different stuff. What do you think we could do better to try to preserve the culture and make sure we keep this? This is just not a one-off type of thing, where we could keep this going and make sure that this continues, that this movement continues to grow and keeps going.
Stop bad mouthing one another. Stop pointing the finger about, nah, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, and this thing with this racial BS about blacks and Puerto Ricans. We need to kill the noise with that, man. Because it's unity. I will say this. Yeah, the brothers did start it off. They definitely did. But as far as the Puerto Ricans and doing their thing, they added to it.
Absolutely.
So this is where the appreciation goes to, because if it wasn't for them, these kids wouldn't be in the Olympics today.
That's a fact.
And when they definitely when it reach this far, because if you look at a lot of the moves that they're doing, it's things that as time changed, okay, you say, for instance, you look at a 70s cat. You watch a 70 B-boy do his thing. Where did a lot of their ideas come from? Think about it. I say to myself, okay, I was a kid who's old enough to remember Soul Train. Soul Train was on in the early 70s. The Soul Train line. These young kids, let's say, I don't know, maybe it was, I would say to me, the average age as a B-boy was probably between, 11, 12 years old to 15 years old? Somewhere between that gap. Here you are watching these moves. Oh, now you know that's. You think of what's the mentality of a youth that age. It's not really that expanding. It's just whatever joyful moment they're
But it
going
feels
through at the
good.
time that
Yeah.
feels good to them. So in other words, you watching groups performing and you watching the Soul Train line get down. This is where if keyword, if you had an imagination to be able to be creative and stand out at what you do. I used to always say the weird ones are the ones who are going to always stand out. Think weird, but in a positive manner.
Right.
Now you think like this. Now, as you start to get older in your teen years, maybe now you want to start showing off in front of the ladies. Okay, so in other words, you could be dancing to catch a certain female that you probably like to catch her attention. Now you reach to the point where you start to reach to going to clubs.
Right.
You figure what the retirement age of a b-boy back then was 16, 17, 18, enough to when you going to go to a club. Because you think about it like this: one, you dressing up mad fly. Two, you ain't going to no club to be dirtying up your clothes doing that stuff. Scuffing up your shoes, scuffing up your shark skin pants. You see what I'm saying? Or your mock neck, or your or whatever it is you was wearing, your suede front. You see, you ain't going in there to do that. And then you're getting sweaty. Imagine getting sweaty in a mock neck. Come on, bro. And you know a mock neck was 100% polyester. So just picture that. Picture that. Yeah, picture you getting sweaty in a mock neck. Like, people be talking about, when I see heads baking in a mock neck, I say, yo, you kids are bugging. You don't realize when we were using mock necks, it wasn't to break it. It was us to dance, to go out to a club and dress up looking nice in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You was using your Clarks or your Playboys or whatever. You dressing up like looking like damn, these kids is tight.
Okay,
All over here breaking in it, man.
I mean, but I always thought the b-boy was the fly dude. I didn't even think about the dancing till later, because I used to come when I was small. The dude, he was always posted. He had his joint. Everything was pinpoint, sweet.
Yeah.
All the way down to his British Walkers, bro.
Well, you know what that is? That's like looking like a hard rock. Hard rock and his b-boy. So then again, you also look at this, a stick-up kid. He could have been noticed as a b-boy too because of his image.
Stick-up kids.
See, so because the image is like a hard rock. Somebody who's not smiling on goofy mode. See, that type of thing though, man. So that's another thing, like yo, damn, look at them kids. Like, now you know they up to no good.
Right.
How did being a b-boy change your life? And I asked that question because I think sometimes when people hear about your life being changed, they think in terms of monetary, like, I have made all this money or whatever it is. But, I also think about like the environments that we grew up in and, how changing your life could be, well, as a result of me dancing, it kept me from, getting into other things in the hood. Right. Or, you think about now it's monetized, it's global. So it's taking people around the world. But, just personally from your own experience, how did being a b-boy change your life?
Well, it depends on the individual. Not everybody's that fortunate. Not everybody's that lucky. You see, because you had choices. You either into making money, doing the wrong thing, or just something you was just doing at the spur of the moment. You see, you got heads with them. I used to practice every day and all this. Yeah, man, stop that. No, you didn't. You see, it's like, when I hear so many dudes sell so many songs, I'd be like, yo, you know what, bro? If I was on a panel, I'd embarrass them so much because of what I'm hearing. You see, everybody want to sound glorified like if they're like some legit cat daddy. Don't play yourself like that, because you're thinking what the mentality was. My choice then was as far as being fortunate enough that I came across doing something that I could relate to. One,
right,
martial arts. I was a martial art. I did martial arts. Now, there's a difference between saying I was a martial artist and I did martial arts. See, a martial artist is someone who stays continuously. When I started, I did jiu-jitsu, judo, and kickboxing. That's what I started doing before I was breaking. So a lot of my moves and stuff that anybody who will see me do certain things on the concrete, on the floor, a martial artist, if they go, oh, snap, K just did a so-and-so, or he just did this type of tumble, they can relate to it.
Right.
To somebody else looking at me, they'd be like, oh man, I like the way he did that. That's because I put it into character. You see, you don't want to wind up be breaking and it looking like you're doing katas. 1, 2, hey. It looks corny. You want to end up going to, in other words, it's like stay the character is me where the B-boy comes in. That's where that comes into part. But as far as with the way it's like they say, it's the saying we use is it's not what you do, it's how you look doing it.
How you doing?
That's basically it.
What were the livest spots that you were? What were some of the spots that were the livest spots to rock and get busy at?
Well, to me, my main one was Roxy's and Roseland, because there's certain clubs that you stay away from.
That's
See,
right.
because you got the old saying, the old mixed identity, it's mistaken identity. I used to get mistaken for dudes who were inmates up in Rikers. So a lot of times you come step to me asking me that it's because you testing the person. You want to see where his heart's at.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So somebody say, yo, kid, you did time up and I kill that noise with that shit, man. I nipped that in the bud from the jump, so this way they know.
I ain't about
They
that.
say,
Life.
yeah, this ain't Twinkie time, B. So go somewhere else with that shit. Right.
But Roxy's is one of the spots I've known a lot of people say like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, let's just say that's like the highlight. That's the highlight. Now, you have individuals who went to other clubs, but that was to each his own. My highlight would always be Roxy's and Roseland, because you gotta remember too, in Roseland,
They were big.
you're playing, you dancing with your girl if you went there with a girl. And you're not doing no breaking at all you're doing is dancing. But when the DJ plays a certain song that you could get busy to, that's when heads would go off. And then after that, you probably just went down at once for the night and back to your dancing with your girl. So all of this, like right now, these kids are fortunate enough to be lucky that, yo, you could be dancing, breaking for hours. We didn't have that luxury.
Right.
It was just when he played that song and then boom, back to you doing your dancing routine if you was with a female.
I know Rob asked about some of the best places to rock and different things like that, but is there any place that you wanted to rock that you didn't get to, that you wish, like, I really wanted to get there and I really wanted to be able to perform and show my skills there?
Not really. Well, there's clubs like I mentioned, but it's nothing I brag about, because like I said, heads used to have the mistaken identity with me dealing with Zulu. You gotta remember, a lot of Zulu heads didn't get along with Ball Busters or Latin Kings, that type of thing, because the way my appearance was, it wasn't like on I wasn't really approachable.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, in other words, the way I was back then, it was like joke with who you know. That was basically it. So, I always carry that mentality with me.
And they thought you was God body too, so they was like, hey, mess.
Yeah. So in other words, you're looking, because like I said, you staring at me. I'm not putting my head down.
Yeah.
I do that if I'm in church or if I'm getting up. See, but other than that, that's it.
Last one, and then we're gonna let you go. What does it mean to be inducted into the Breaking Hall of Fame?
It means that your appreciation was well respected and well earned, because a lot of it has to deal with the way you conduct yourself and how you carry yourself. Nobody has to do a damn thing for you, man, because to me, I look at it as respect goes both ways. You reach where you did for a reason, but don't let it go to your head. So in other words, it's like, you have some people, because let's say, for instance, they're traveling, they're able to go places and do things, and they start making money right now, they let that go to the head. They forget about the ones who was there with them from when the start. Because I always say this: everybody who's a so-called expert at something, remember, you was once a beginner too. So don't let it go to your head.
That's right.
I appreciate it to the fullest, because I won a lot of awards through the years that I have here, that I wind up going back to New York and getting from my mother, because it reached to the point where my mother was hanging clothes up on my awards. I'd be like, yo, Ma, where's my so-and-so? She's over drying a shirt on it. Oh, well, somewhere over there. I said, oh, no, but I'm taking all of this back with me. So I took it all and put it all in my game. So right now I'm waiting for my son to send me mine, and then I'm going to send the pictures with me holding it up. And Doug and everybody else, you guys will see it, man.
Appreciate you.
But yo, like I said, man.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for pulling up, joining us on the podcast. Give out, if you're on social media, give out your social media.
Let me see. It's K1 at yahoo.com. What is it? Instagram? Is it K1? What is it? Oh geez, I think it's K1 K John K1138 dot K John or something like that. You'll see my once they pull up the name, you'll see my face on it.
Copy.
I have the same picture. The same picture I have on Instagram is the same picture I have on Facebook.
Facebook. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks.
Yo, all of y'all, man. All of y'all. Stay safe, man, and thank you.
Got it.
Thank you.
Peace.